Normal day, I went into work. It was around lunchtime, and I went out to go just for a walk.
Just a break in the weather, and we were all looking to get outside a little bit.
And you could see smoke between a couple buildings. Wasn't really sure what it was.
It was so fast and just kind of a blur. If nobody noticed it, I don't know. It probably wouldn't have ended maybe the same way. It was like a nice day, so we were all kind of like cabin fever and itching to get out. I mean, if it was another day, I don't even know if any of us would have been outside or even paying attention.
It looked like maybe someone was burning something in their backyard. Sometimes people do that. As I got closer, you could see that it was, a lot more smoke at that point. Like it was in front of the building. I was like, yeah, that's pretty obvious.
I was in my office, and my office, there's a window that looks out on the house. So I started to leave the building to see what was going on. I proceeded through the pharmacy in our building and mentioned it to Mike, the pharmacist, who followed me out.
Called 911 to let them know, gave them the address. It was just kind of standing back at first until a gentleman came out of the house. He looked a little bit older, looked a little bit out of it, so I asked him if he was all right, does he need anything? I asked him if there was anyone else in the house. He's like, I don't know, I think there's someone on the second floor.
Mike went in, I grabbed the gentleman and was like, come on, I got him across the road.
So at that point, I went in, and there were a couple doors up there, they were all closed, so I started banging on doors, yelling for people to get out. This lady who lived on the second floor finally came out, got her down the stairs.
Mike was trying to see if he could figure out where the fire was coming from, and then he and I just went room to room on the first floor just to make sure that there was nobody else in the house. And then I was periodically nagging at Ken to come back down. And then I think at some point in time, Mike's like, yeah, he should probably get back down here. He was keeping us aware of the flames because he was at the rear of the house, which is where the fire was. He could see like when the flames were getting worse and when the smoke was getting worse. It was a smoke like no other smoke that I've really witnessed before. It was thick and it was black, and it burned like when you were breathing it. It was an awful, awful smell.
The actual firefighters, when they showed up, if it was bad when we were in there, it was worse by the time they had to go in.
The smoke on the ground level where we were in the back of the house was really bad, and towards the front of the house where the front door was that we were exiting through was not as bad. It was starting to get worse as we were getting them out.
When you left at that point and looked out down between the houses, the flames were just bursting out of that section of the house.
Yeah.
It was huge. It was like, maybe I shouldn't have been in there.
Yeah, we kind of went in, and looking back on it, we didn't really pay attention to whether there was any safety concerns. We just wanted to make sure that there was nobody left in the house. I think it started in the walls, so we didn't notice the flames at first. The smoke was very heavy. Then when we started getting them out, the flames started coming through the back of the house, and at that point in time, I think it registered with us that it was pretty serious. The guy who owned the house was the first gentleman that we got out, and he just wanted to go back in. No smoke detectors or fire alarms going off when we entered. I think it was just confusing, and he just kept trying to turn around and go back in. We were like, you can't go back in, it's on fire. I don't think he really understood what was going on. I think it was just like everything all at once. I think he was a little disoriented. We were outside with them for a couple minutes, and the fire department showed up and pretty much took over.
You see them show up and get to work and
just
do what they do.
Yeah, they were just like, they just pulled those trucks up and they just dispersed, and they really did a wonderful job.
And took care of it
really
quickly.
But the smell of that smoke, I think I'll probably have in my nose forever. I've been watching the progress. They're actually rebuilding the house.
Yeah, I was happy to see that.
They put a nice new roof on it. It looks like they're starting to do the structural part of the house now. So
yeah, they redid the back where the fire started.
I probably wouldn't want to ever have to do that again. Probably would have if it happened, but it definitely was scary when you look back on it. And then our employers, we have cameras on the outside of the building, so when everything was said and done, they had showed us the video, and I was like, a lot of smoke and flames coming out of that house, and I don't think that we even realized it until after we had exited and we were standing in the parking lot once the fire department got there. I don't think we realized how bad it was. People at work and then my families, they were just like, oh my God, you guys did such a wonderful thing. And I think all three of us just kind of felt like, anybody would have done that. There was people. So
I'm saying that we're heroes, which I don't quite feel. I was just being a neighborly passerby.
Yeah, you know, the local police and local fire departments and local EMS, I definitely hold in very high regards. I think they do a really hard job on a regular basis. So I would say probably those would be my heroes.